Okay, so in the previous video, we talked about different kinds of marketing types. So the types refer there to a niche marketing, multi-segment, or maybe the mass marketing, so meaning the group of people basically you're targeting. Today, we're going to talk about different marketing systems. So this has to do with actually who determines the price of something. So the first one is the free marketing concept or the free marketing system. And this is where, again, price can be negotiated. So this is where people are free, the supplier is free to determine what he wants to sell and also for what amount of money he wants to sell it, or maybe a service that he does. So some kind of advantages. Payment is usually in the form of cash. It can be, again, via EFT and so on, but point being the person who sells it, he can get the money. So the price then is determined by supply and demand. If someone actually wants something, if they want it badly enough, you can ask any amount of money for a certain product, what you want to have for it. If there's low demand, obviously, then you will have to lower your price if nobody really wants it. So it's determined by that. And then your certain disadvantages. Price is fine, can fluctuate, again, because you have to negotiate. Maybe the person gets less money for something that he originally wanted to get. And also your market costs are high because in a free market system, the supplier, the person who wants to create something or sell something, he has to market his own products. So usually, again, whether this is via the internet or newspapers or pamphlets or whatever, that person has to do the marketing. Or maybe if somebody else does it for that person, then obviously they have to pay that person. So still market costs are high. And also the last one they mentioned there is if overproduction happens, it can lead to surpluses. So there are 5 main channels of the free marketing system, and that's what we're going to focus on in this video. The first one is the farm gate market. Then you've got fresh produce, stock sales, direct marketing, and internet marketing. And we're going to go in detail into each of these aspects of the free marketing system. So the first one is the farm gate marketing, and as the picture shows here, usually here you can sell fresh produce. This can be vegetables or fruit or even livestock. But the point being, what happens here is that this produce is sold on the farm, directly from the farmer on the farm. So one of the advantages of this actually is that the farmer doesn't have to pay any transport costs because all his produce is on his land. So it takes the transport away. Also they say here advantages number 1, price can be obtained without any marketing costs. So again, you don't have to do much extra marketing because most people know that things are produced on a farm, unless maybe it's a specialty item that you maybe will have to market or advertise, but generally people know what usually is available on a farm. Then the product will definitely be fresh, so that's usually better. So right off of the farm, things are still, I'm going to say the age of fruit and veggies is young. So it's very fresh, whereas if you go to an actual market such as Spar or Pick n Pay, things are usually already a little bit off. So it'll be older by then the time it reaches the shops. Then also, thirdly, products sold at a low price. It's very, very cheap actually for a buyer to buy produce from a farmer. Because again, there were no transport costs put in with the price of the product, so no value there has been added. The produce can be very cheap. And lastly, we said no transport costs. Unfortunately, our disadvantages then is mainly not everybody is willing to go actually to a farm to go buy the thing they want. People are mainly living in towns or cities, and the easiest for the buyer is actually just simply to go to the shop and then choose what they want and then quickly go home. It's actually quite bad for a buyer to drive all that way to the farm to go buy something. Then also they just mentioned here the farmer will have to accept the local price for his or her product. So it again depends on what the competition around him is, if there's other farmers also selling via the farm gate. And yeah, the farmer will not necessarily be there to actually reach the customers. So people wouldn't necessarily want to drive to the farm because it's too far away. But yeah, mainly farm gate marketing is the cheapest option for your farmer. Then secondly, you've got a fresh produce market, and this, like the picture shows you here at the bottom, this could include something like Spar as well, where you have a central place where all these different supplies are available to people. So it's a central place people can go to, a location, and they can peruse through, walk through, and choose what they want. So this can also include something like Spar and Pick n Pay and businesses that sell these produce. So advantages: if they have produce available, farmers can take advantage of the higher prices in terms of short supply. And also the market is able to sell large quantities of the farmer's produce, so it's easy for farmers to actually, in bulk, take one trip and take apples and pears and tomatoes and everything he's got in one transport vehicle and then take it to the market. So that's easy for him. Farmer can employ the services of an agent also to do the marketing for him. In this case, something like Spar or Pick n Pay is this marketing agent. It's a local place where everybody can go to, and they do the advertisement. So usually with Spar, these places, they've got the pamphlets telling you whether there's a sale going on or a promotion or something. So they do the marketing for the farmer. Then, unfortunately, some disadvantages. It also not information enable the farmer to make the right decisions. Oh, sorry, this was actually the. I need to take that one out. So that's not belong with the disadvantages. The second point is correct. Prices fluctuate, so meaning depending on the demand of a product, the prices can either increase or decrease. And the last one that we say, it's markets unfortunately are sometimes a bit far away from the farm, so this could be a bad thing for the farmer if he has to travel so far to take his produce to market. Then you have stock sales. Okay, I have no idea why my words and my pictures are over one another. Apologies about that. Anyway, so your stock sales, think auction. So mainly that's what the picture there is for. Usually auctioneer is not the bull, but the bull or cow or some kind of animal is being auctioned off. But that's kind of the idea there with the picture. So the advantage here is that the promotion or the advertisement is done on behalf of the farmer. And also the payment generally is guaranteed. So if someone bids on a specific animal or lot, whatever it is, it can be produce, then that person, if they bid on it, they must pay whatever price it is, whatever price they agreed upon. So usually your farmer does get a sale if somebody bids. Then thirdly, the market is larger than the local market. There's a lot of people usually that goes to these auctions, especially if it's like a live animal auction. Then also small-scale farmers have access to these sales, so any farmer can bring their produce or livestock to the central location where people can bid on their produce. And one thing that's unfortunately under the advantages, but is that if let's say it's a cow and the cow is valued at 10,000 rand, if people start bidding on it, obviously the highest bidder wins. So if the highest bid ends on 15,000 or 20,000, the farmer actually makes a profit of 10,000 rand. So it's very good auctions because people compete for buying this product. So then they hype up the price, and then your seller actually gets more money generally than is expected. Unfortunately, the flip side of that disadvantage here would be the flip side as well. Sometimes either something is not sold if nobody bids on it, or sometimes if nobody is willing to bid, the auctioneer will decrease the price of the product, and maybe instead of the cow being sold for 10,000, it gets sold for 5,000. So then they kind of lower the price in the hopes that someone will bid. So it's also possible, the disadvantage, that the product can get sold for a lower price than market value. And that's number 2 here. The seller also may not get the price he wants for the animal. Yes, we said that, and small-scale farmers may not have the money or the transport to actually get their animals to the auction in the first place. So transport here is important because again, the auctions happen far away from farms generally, depending usually in the Maclear area, it actually happens on specific farms. But when you're close to bigger cities, usually it's not close to the auction house. Then you have direct marketing. So direct marketing is more specialized marketing where certain people, specific individuals are targeted, or maybe a group of people. So direct marketing is again basically when you know Facebook. I'm going to use this example because Facebook is very fascinating with that. Facebook and YouTube, the videos you look at or the feeds of someone you're looking at, usually when they send you ads, the advertisements are personalized or catered to you. If you look at a couple of food journals, we love watching food videos, the advertisements would be about food products. Sale going on here, promotion going on there. So the algorithm that Facebook has written for Facebook, they send you the person watching all these specific videos, the type of videos, that type of advertisements will come your way. So that's also part of direct marketing. So the advantages here is marketing could be reduced, or the margins could be reduced, thus the producer could obtain higher prices for the product because you're being more specific to who you're sending the advertisement. Then the volume of sales is guaranteed to the farmer. So again, and that is good for him. The disadvantage is though, the farmer must ensure that he or she has sufficient produce of acceptable quality to supply to the customer or retailer at all times. So unfortunately, again, if there is a high demand then, say the advertisement works, and now this person on Facebook or wherever sees the advertisement of tomatoes on sale, and he loves the idea of all these tomatoes so much, he orders 100 tomatoes, but the farmer only has 50 available. So that unfortunately can backfire on the farmer if the demand now increases more than what he has to supply. So then most customers don't like waiting. So then because they want 50 more, they go to a different retailer or a different farmer maybe. Secondly, the quantity of produce must be high at all times. Always quantity and quality is important, so that standard must be upheld. And then also the farmer cannot meet the needs of the retailer, he will have to buy in produce. So that's also bad for the farmer. Again, if he doesn't have enough to supply, he probably will have to buy from a different farmer or make a plan to supply this product to the buyer. Lastly, we have internet marketing. So self-explanatory over the internet. Facebook here is also an example. So it can reach a global audience. That's a benefit. It's very fast, cost-effective. You don't really have to print anything, so that doesn't cost a lot of money. 24 hours a day. People are always on the internet, even when they go to the bathroom, so you can always reach them. This form of business is not really capital intensive, so again, you don't need to put in a lot of money. You just have to have an internet link, a phone, a laptop or something, and then advertise that way. Disadvantages though, attracting customers may not be easy. So if you are emailing that person or being again using direct marketing, then probably is easy. But if it's just generally for a mass market, it's difficult to actually pinpoint certain people that will have a demand for the product. Then online marketing is technically not free because you still have to pay to put your ad on the internet. It doesn't maybe use paper, but you do have to pay to use the internet service. Then all customers shop online. If we take, again, agriculture as an example, not every farmer or every customer is tech savvy, so they don't necessarily know how to use the internet, especially older generations. And also many people prefer the live intake. Actually, many people love to go face to face and also go into a shop and see what they're buying. Me especially, I don't really like buying things over the internet because you don't always get what you pay for. Okay, so that's it for this video.